Hello, everyone. I'm Justine with State of Grace Tarot, and today I wanted to just kind of talk through my intentions for the month of March and kind of how February was. Honestly, February was a bit of a regrouping month for me. I felt like I was kind of slogging through and kind of stuck and waiting. I had some changes and transitions going on at work and in my personal life that just felt sort of clunky and distracting. I didn't have as much tarot time as I wanted to, especially towards the end of, or sorry, the beginning of the month, not the end of the month. I feel like towards the end of the month, I kind of started to get out of my funk a little bit and build towards, you know, some momentum. And now that it's March, I'm feeling like I'm looking forward to the month and that, I'm looking forward to a more refreshing and bright energy. I'm ready for spring, I guess. But I think, I really want to work with some decks that reflect that energy this month. One of the decks that I'm surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, really being drawn to is my own Magpie deck that I created. That's the deck that I'm playing with right now. I have a full walkthrough on my video and how on my channel and how I created that. But this deck, I'm really being drawn to like some more earthy energy, but also something like more fire. So it's almost like the desert is kind of the energy that I'm being drawn towards, and like bright colors, simple, um, and that's kind of like what this deck really gives for me. Like Nine of Swords, um, the Chariot, and I think this is one of the decks. Actually, I'm thinking I don't have it out because I'm thinking it's probably going to be more April Aries energy, but working with the Serpent Fire Tarot. But I have a full walkthrough of this deck, but it's one that I'm constantly being drawn towards picking up and flipping through and just really enjoying the different cards. And maybe that's part of it, that I get like so many different cards and different vibes in one spread. So maybe I'm needing that kind of chaotic, eclectic energy. So that's one of the cards, um, one of the decks. I can't even talk. It's been so long since I've done one of these, and I don't know that I've ever really done one. I think one of my first videos on this channel was a face forward video, but I was literally getting over probably a cold or something worse. So I was like a zombie, but I had like an idea and a deadline for myself, and I was like, I have to get this video posted. So I had to do it, and that's kind of where I'm at for this one as well. My card of the month on my Wheel of the Year spread this month is the Eight of Pentacles, which is, to me, I have it right here. The To me, this is the hard work pays off card. And I really want to dig into the energy of this card as I go through the month. Really learning and honing in on my skills, whether that's at work with my new role, and then or at home with hobbies and being creative, and digging into maybe some writing and just my tarot practice in general. I feel like February was kind of a coasting month for me. There wasn't a whole lot of learning. It was just doing, especially towards the beginning of the month. And then at the end is when my role at work kind of started transitioning. So it was really just status quo in February. But in March, my intention is to really dig a little bit deeper and do some deck studies, and I am thinking of starting the a deck and walk, doing the deck and walk this year, just to learn um, more about how the tarot relates to astrology, and it'll kind of give me a framework to learn and dive into specific cards that spreads it out throughout the year, rather than saying like, oh, I'm going to deep dive a whole deck or all these cards in a very short period of time. It spreads it out throughout the year, which I'm looking forward to. So I don't know how exactly that's going to show up on my channel. I'm not sure if I want to do readings or just kind of reflections. I haven't really figured that out yet, but I do want to do some video and some content around the deck and walk. It's just I'm still contemplating and brainstorming how I want it to show up on my channel and how it's going to show up for me in my life, because that's the whole point for me, is for it to walk through the year with the tarot. And this right now is probably one of the longest streaks I would say, is the I've done tarot, self-reflective tarot journaling every day for myself for over 100 days. I think last time I was really into tarot, it wasn't necessarily a daily practice, and I let myself get distracted and I would fall off and pick it up and fall off and pick it up. But even in February, when it was a little bit harder for me, I still did my daily card pulls. Now, was the reflection as deep and meaningful as one would hope, or I would hope? No, but I still had that consistency, and that's really what I'm looking for right now, is consistency and learning, and still having that habit every day of pulling a card at least. And maybe it's not a full on spread every day. Maybe it's just the card that I'm using to see what energy is showing up in my life that day. And that's one of the things, like I still have my, what is it? My year of tarot, where I'm writing down my card of the day every day. I'm still doing that. Oh, I forgot to write down today's card. Today is Temperance, in case anybody wanted to know. So I'm still doing it. And one of the things that I do find that I need to work on a little bit is, maybe at the end of the day, reflecting on how it showed up. I pull it in the mornings and I kind of journal my thoughts about how it might show up, just looking at what the day ahead of me looks like. But I haven't really done a great job in the evenings of reflecting and kind of wrapping up my day. That's something that I'm hoping to incorporate a little bit more of in March and going forward. I'm still kind of on the same trajectory of doing, I'll say, about like one big spread a week, especially during the week. Like I'll do my Enchanted Library spread with the Weavers Fellowship with Dawn Michelle. I'll do that. Typically it's like Wednesday or Thursday. Sometimes it's on the weekends, but I do feel like my schedule allows for me to do a bigger spread during the week. And then I have my moon messages in my little envelopes. So those are, a couple of times a month. But yeah, I'm really kind of drawn to doing at least one bigger spread a week. So really sitting and spending quite a bit of time with the tarot and those, just for a self-reflective personal growth practice. One of the things, let's see, I am doing the Earth Woman Tarot deck study with Carrie's Mystical Musings on her Discord channel. So I do have the Earth Woman Tarot. So this will be a deck that I'm working with this month and going forward. So she has some study prompts, but I when I first saw this deck, I love bright colors. So obviously I like the bright colors, but I don't know how I feel about them not having faces. Oh, come on, focus. So this is one deck that I'll be working with and doing a deck study. Hopefully I can build a relationship with the deck. And it's a very springtime deck to me. And, with all the bright colors, of course, I want bright colors pretty much always. I like the energy that the bright colors kind of give me, and they perk me up a little bit. So this is one deck that I'll be working with this month. And I'm looking forward to that. I don't know how many readings necessarily I'll be doing with it, but I'll be doing the deck study. And to me, this is kind of similar to the Gentle Tarot and the softer colors, brighter colors. But I think I'm going to like this one a little bit better, or be more drawn to it. Maybe there are some days that I reach for the Gentle Tarot, but that hasn't really happened. So maybe as a part of this Earth Woman Tarot study, I can do a deck study on the Gentle Tarot also, and then compare the two. That might be fun. Since I did get this one and I was feeling drawn to like a more earthy energy right now, I don't even have this out to talk about. It's just over on my table over here. I also got the Earth Song Oracle by the same artist, and I actually really like this deck. I wish there were more cards, but I do like that it's kind of tapping into the earthy energy and the message that Mother Earth has for us. I like that it has the card name and then 3 keywords and also a description or mantra, like this one, Oasis, refuge, safety, and respite. And then it says seek respite, find safety and peace. So it has a message with it as well. And so I feel like you could make a spread out of this. So like if you pull the energy of the day, and then how and then do a spread around the keywords like wildflower, unplanned, joy, serenity, remain open to unexpected joy, which is really beautiful. So I think, this is a good March deck for me to, we're coming out of the cold winter months here in Houston. Like the sun it's starting to get warm again. And I can just feel the energy coming up. So that is one that I'm looking forward to. And it's not just going to be with my my Earth Woman Tarot practice. I think, these are going to be, I have these all messed up now, are going to be part of my regular tarot practice, maybe daily. I do also think that it goes pretty great with my own magpie deck. I think it will. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to working with this. You might see it on my channel because I just want to work with it more. I mean, my readings on my channel are more for practice. I don't actually read for anyone. Not that I don't want to. I would love to, but I'm still learning, and I don't feel the confidence that maybe would go along with somebody who needs to read more. And sometimes I need to take time also to reflect and really tap into my intuition a little bit with readings. And that's one of the things that I need to practice, to relax and let it come to me and let it flow out of me in words. Like maybe it gets stuck in my mind. I'm pretty introverted, so I think the thoughts and I have the gut feelings, but it's being able to articulate them in a meaningful way is one of the big challenges for me. So that's one of the things I'm working on. Also, I think, with it being Pisces season, I'm really drawn towards this mystical dream tarot that I've been working with for the last few days. After February wrapped up and I put away my Goddess of Love tarot, I was like, well, what am I feeling like I need to work with? And I was kind of feeling very sluggish after traveling for work and just having a really busy week. First week on a new job is pretty taxing, or can be. It was for me. So I needed something that was a little bit softer. But there's so much to these cards, and I definitely need to do a whole freaking deck study on this. It's so interesting. But to me, this is, every card, even if it's swords or wands or cups or the majors, they're all very blue and watery to me. So that to me, this is a very emotional deck. It's kind of like, it's a deck for when I'm in my feels, that's for sure. And everything's so interesting to look at. So I definitely think while I'm feeling very drawn to more deserty themes, that this will be a nice juxtaposition to, oh, come on, to that energy on certain days. And maybe this will work with my my magpie deck or some of my other decks. But if I wasn't doing the Earthwoman Tarot deck study, I would probably do a deep dive on this. Like some of these, like this one, the Five of Swords. When I first looked at this didn't give me like typical Five of Swords energy, like these two kids fishing. But then you read the card descriptions and it's about loss and about choices and finding answers. And these kids, one kid is trying to find answers in the deep waters, in the intuition, and this kid is looking off into the future, into the distance to see something out there. So it's very interesting, and it's not necessarily the reaction or the thought that I had to it when I first pulled up the Five of Swords in one of my readings. So I'm definitely looking forward to working with this deck. And this is one of the decks that I thought was going to be in my magpie deck. That's why I got this. I wasn't sure about the cards, but these cards are a bit bigger than a traditional tarot deck, like you can kind of see. So you see the little edges over, it's a little bit bigger, so it didn't fit. Like I know this card, the wild, the radiant wild is a little bit smaller, but it's just a touch smaller, but this was significant. So these would definitely stand out, and they're not, there's no border for me to cut off, even though I've never modified a deck. So it would be interesting for me to even try. I think I'd lose some of the art. So I think I want to just work with this deck and build a relationship with it. And honestly, I really like the cardstock. It's very slippy. I mean, it's bright, it's shiny, see, but it feels so good in my hands and shuffling. So that's the Mystical Dream Tarot. Let's see, another deck that's kind of the softer Pisces energy for me, and I really want to have a deck that's more Rider-Waite-Smith, like traditional imagery to work with as well, is the Travelers Tarot. Oh lordy, I don't have the box out. I should have prepped for this video a little bit more. Curious Travels, that's what this one is. This one's the indie version. They do have a mass market version. Come on, focus. So this one's a little bit softer as well. They're all going to be upside down. Okay. So I really wanted to work with this one as well. This one lives in my little 3-story crystal tower grid of favorite decks. I have my first edition Wild Unknown over there, and then this one's there as well. So these just live there for when I'm not using them. I just like having them out and being able to see them and say hi to them every now and then. Okay, come on. There we go. So yeah, I'm planning on working with this deck as well this month. And then just because I'm really feeling drawn to having some fun and playing around as well, and I'm feeling like I want to read a little bit more for fun. I'm really being drawn to the Arthurian legends and I might reread The Mists of Avalon, which is literally my favorite book ever. Right now, I'm reading La Morte de Arthur, however you say that. It's an interesting read. I don't want to say it's challenging because of the way the words are written. It's not. It's an older book, so the language is a little bit different. You have to kind of think. So it's not necessarily as easy of a read as I would want for pleasure. So, a quick, you don't have to reread sentences to say, oh, what are they actually saying here? Like, there's a lot of that for me, but it's very quick, and there's a lot left to the imagination. But I think if I didn't know or have some understanding of the story of King Arthur, that it would be a lot more challenging, because I'm like, oh, this is how they're saying that the king came to Isolde as her husband and she didn't know. So it's kind of interesting, but So I am thinking that as I read that, and maybe as I read The Mists of Avalon, that I'm going to play with my Legends of Arthur tarot deck, which is a beautifully illustrated deck. It's older, um, and each of the cards has the title of the card, but also the name, and the imagery represents something in the story of King Arthur. So I think this will be fun, and it has a whole guidebook that goes with it that kind of tells the story as well. So I think this one will be one that I'm working with. But this one's going to be a bonus because I don't think that I'm going to have a full bandwidth to be able to dive into this all the time. So this might be like a prolonged practice and just something I pick up, every now and then and regularly. Maybe this is something I do in the evenings when I do read for fun after work. So, yeah, those are the decks that I'm planning on working with for this month. What decks are you working with this month? What are your March intentions? I'd love to know. I'd love to see all the tarot videos and how people are incorporating things and changing up their practices for month to month to really dive into their self growth and personal practices. So let me know your thoughts, and I will see you again soon.